They're parting people.
They'll be ejecting anybody who makes trouble. So that goes for John Wayne.
Yeah, man.
All right, so I'm going to bring them up one by one. We're going to begin with Rian Johnson, the writer-director of The Last Jedi. Mark Hamill, you know, in pop culture.
Well, endless thoughts and also a profound impact that she made on me as a girl and spoken so beautifully by Flynn. So I'll just speak to this present experience to say that as we always have carried, not just Leia, her wisdom, and people speak about people who are brave or fearless, but beyond that, I've known, luckily, a few people that would hold those descriptions, but not that they would be without shame. And that's what moved me the most about the icon she gave us, but also what she gave us individually and personally, which is to carry who she was so directly and to be without shame and to share her story and to expect nothing less from any of us. And the privilege of watching how Rian has so beautifully captured all of that and her grace in this amazing, beautiful, pure performance. But also, I think she found an equal irreverent, subversive, and they had this dance that gives us this performance that I was just so
Well, how about Daisy and Kelly? Any thoughts on the legacy of Leia and Carrie?
I don't think I could really follow that, except to just say Carrie's daughter Billy is, I think, all of those qualities. She's smart and funny and shameless and wonderful. And I think Carrie bringing up a daughter, obviously with Ryan, bringing up a daughter who is all of those qualities and then some in this world, if that's what she did, just her being her, I think it speaks volumes to what she did as her in the spotlight and also her as Leia.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said. I think that something about Carrie that I really look up to and something I didn't realize until recently, was just how much courage it takes to truly be yourself when you're on a public platform or when possibly a lot of people will be looking at you. And she was so unapologetic and so openly herself, and that is something that I am really trying to do, and it's hard. And just like Daisy said, like Laura said, like Gwendolyn said, I think that she will always be an icon as Leia, but also as Carrie. What an example, And I am so fortunate to have met her, and I think that she will really live on forever.
I was very excited when I was shown just the basic element of the costume. And here we were seeing a character whereby a woman her femininity was not delineated in terms of the shape of her body, in terms of her physical attractiveness, those elements, that weird random group of elements which we're born with some kind of odd lottery and then we're judged on in society. And I was just delighted to be able to have that opportunity.
Any other comments?
Because I was first shown A New Hope when I was 6, and I remember thinking, wow, that character is really different. I watched TV and film obsessively from such a young age, but it stayed with me throughout my formative years of, she's really interesting, she's really smart, she's really funny, she's courageous, she's bold, she doesn't care what people think, and she isn't prepared to be told what to do. And she doesn't look the same as a sort of homogenized presentation of a woman that we had been used to seeing. So that was really instrumental to me as someone that didn't feel like they fitted that homogenized view of what a woman was supposed to be, that there was inspiration there, that you could be an individual and celebrate yourself and be successful without giving yourself over, without necessarily making some sort of terrible, huge compromise. So it was a big inspiration for me.
But it also means that it makes you come out of the theater wanting to run in your backyard, grab your spaceship toys, and make them fly around, you know, and that's a key ingredient to it. So we're going to go to some intense places in the movie, but I hope also it's fun, it's funny. I don't know, you guys have...
Second, because I was first shown A New Hope when I was 6, and I remember thinking, wow, that character's really different. I watched TV and film obsessively from such a young age, but it stayed with me throughout my formative years of, she's really interesting, she's really smart, she's really funny, she's courageous, she's bold, she doesn't care what people think, and she isn't prepared to be told what to do. And she doesn't look the same as a sort of homogenized presentation of a woman that we had been used to seeing. So that was really instrumental to me as someone that didn't feel like they fitted that homogenized view of what a woman was supposed to be, that there was inspiration there, that you could be an individual and celebrate yourself and be successful without giving yourself over, without necessarily making some sort of terrible, huge compromise. So it was a big inspiration for me.
Anything I could have imagined, that I'm still like, it was only afterwards that I was like, oh yeah. And it's not like I ever took it for granted or anything, but it was just so monumental, the response and how people felt about it. And obviously that's a testament to Kathy, JJ, Michael, Larry, everyone who created the characters in the beginning. And I think what's great about everyone is, it's not like she's a girl, this is a guy, this is anything. It's just great characters that happily are falling into broader categories now. So I'm thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it feels like both an honor and a responsibility at the same time. I feel like from the beginning, when I initially found out I got this role, I just felt like I wanted to do the whole thing justice. And I'm so excited that, guys, the girls in this movie kick some butt. Every single one is so good. And I can't wait for everyone to see it.
And I just want to pay tribute to Ryan for being one of the most brilliantly subversive filmmakers I've ever been able to bear witness to. And in the case of the look of my character, I was moved by the fact that he really wanted her strength to first lead with a very deep femininity, and to see a powerful female character also be feminine is something that moves away from a stereotype that's sometimes perceived in strong female characters must be like the boys. I thought that was a really interesting choice to get to witness.
How impactful is that, without spoiling anything, to the characters who knew him in the last movie and the previous films?
I think we're just keeping it moving, to be honest with you, man. It's true. The pressure's on, man. You know, there's no time there. But I think that's one thing that's unique to me about watching this movie was just a commentary on war. I think there hasn't been a Star Wars movie yet that has explored war in the way The Last Jedi does. It's very messy. The categorizing of good and evil it's all mixed together. So, you know, in terms of Han, there's no, you know, I'm sure we all feel sentimental if someone was to sit Finn down, sit Rey down, but Rey's off training, she's got stuff to do. I've got a back injury, I've got stuff to do. I can't think about Han at the moment. He's done. So.
I think it's reverberating, but he's right. You know, whether it's a dire situation, it's critical. The resistance is on its last legs. You know, we're trying to survive. First Order is right on top of us. You know, everything is like war, where you got to just keep moving to try to survive. And so you feel, I think, the momentum of everything that happened in The Force Awakens just pushing and getting to a critical mass in this film.
I will interject there, though, and I think this is the beauty of having storylines that are sort of happening in tandem and affecting each other. Because I would say that Ray at least is very much affected by it, and I think like in the first, like Ray as a character has been alone for a really long time, and she's really open to like love and friendship. So Finn and BB-8 come along and it's like this amazing adventure, and then Han, like without trying to, she seeks something from him because there's an intimacy and there's a sort of figure of something she'd never dreamed of for her, that gets, snatched away, and she's understanding, everything's new to her, so she's understanding things in a different way, and luckily for me, because I was trying to get to grips with everything going on, and then Ray's trying to get to grips with everything going on, so for Ray at least there is some time, everything's moving forward, but she has some time to ask questions and wonder what it is that leads people to have led someone to do something like that. And also how that directly affects the world around her, because, and then she's worried about being at home, so I would say she's maybe a little more affected, at least emotionally on screen.
I just want to say one thing, going back to one of the things about the question about, the strong women in it, because I think as a guy, I'd like to say that for me, the most formative people in my life have been women. And so that has shaped my destiny so much, and so to see that reflected in the film is really, really a beautiful thing. So, and it is more true to real life and what's happening now, but what's always happened, which is, they're the ones, that shape you.
Leading the way.
Yeah.
But speaking as the leader of the First Order, I have to say that Snoke is very unimpressed. The fact that there is such a huge female force that seems to be growing in the universe. It's deeply threatening, it's deeply undermining, it's got to stop, it cannot go on. And this we see, without giving too much away, a little snatch in this movie.
Snoke's blame. I'm going to wrap up the press conference. Going back to Jenna's great question.
So you're constantly figuring out how can I figure out how to work in this environment, and then you're like, but also this is awesome. So it's kind of a balance, right? Yeah.
And just to add to that, what Ryan spoke to, that he does so beautifully, as well as Andy was describing, the intimacy of discovering each character's conflict, which is just extraordinary given the enormity of the cast, that he gave us that in the experience of the workplace. And it was shocking. And Oscar and I always talked about just how stunned we were that we were in such a massive environment and did feel like we were, making a indie movie, and you were always encouraging us to try things and explore character and explore this duality of the light and the dark within characters. The movie speaks to so beautifully, not just that there are alternative universes, but that lies within, which seems to be the place that George Lucas first started, the mythology of that, and it's just so brilliant. And a group of us sitting together watching it for the first time was amazing, because it was like we were with 3,000 people. We were screaming, standing out, crying. You missed something.
Hope you're happy.
Well, I want to ask Donal and Adam about
Cast in the first Star Wars film when I heard about the casting, and I was utterly delighted to see that there was a more representative selection of actors that were going to be in these incredible Star Wars films, and that has continued. And everything that my amazing colleagues say is absolutely right. You get to see women that are not being strong just because they're acting like men. They're doing something else, and also you're seeing a developed character, or at least a developing character, that's showing some complex character traits. And I'm just delighted about that. I'm delighted that something as as legendary as Star Wars, has decided to be modern and to reflect our society more as it is.
How a set is run is so incredibly important. And what JJ and Tommy did first time around, Ryan and Jamie did this time, it's just a really happy set that everyone feels, I think, heard and respected. And so just like in an acting sense, taking everything away, I think the same feeling was captured of love and of everyone trying to work together to make this thing that hopefully other people will love.
Very emotional, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I knew obviously that it was going to go that way, but it's very, very powerful, and it touches you. And what Ryan's done incredibly is make this dance between totally dance, between these great kind of epic moments and hilarious. And
Okay, Mark, like, really